Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, you're catching up with the action on round 6 of the Paramount Archer Harare Under-20 Rugby League. Next match coming up is Marondera Talons taking on the Zambezi Steelers. And we're here at Old Hararians where inclement weather has set in. It has been a tough time to try and maneuver on such a very slippery surface as we have right now, and you can tell with the knock-on there from the Steelers, not necessarily as fluid as you would like, and obviously the strategy and the game plan changes as a result of that. Maybe you'll find a bit more kicking, trying to gain some territory. Maybe try also make use of your set pieces, your lineouts, and maybe your scrums as well. Make sure that you are going to be taking care of them, because a fluid play or champagne rugby, as we love to call it, may not necessarily be possible. But once again, it's Rumbo Chakoreka bringing you this commentary. A great big thank you to Sydney Savanu, who obviously had to watch a very frustrating game that was between Zimbiru Titans and Northern Chiefs. Far too many knock-ons, and Zimbiru Titans surely should have come back into the game, but unfortunately didn't make use of the opportunities or the chances that they had. But that is now in the past. They lost that one 29-5. And for Marondera Talons, they're knocking on the ball there, but very lucky to have had the Steelers off aside. Talons doing the needful, that is kicking the ball forward, gaining some territory, now trying to push the Steelers into a pressure point. The passer comes out, and the Talons now looking to jackal the ball there, but no way, not happening. And they lose out on that breakdown. Now as the Steelers are trying to make use of leg drive, finally goes to ground. Ball comes out once again. Decent pass, but as we mentioned before, quite slippery out here. Oh, goes past one tackle, but finally taken down. Steelers are still on the charge, building up their phases. Of course, the Talons are being coached by Lovemore Kuzorera and Stefan Hunduza, whilst Ricky Chirengende, with his army of assistant coaches, also holding on to the Steelers and holding on to the ball, and have made some really good ground here. They're in some very good territory. The support is coming in very, very slowly for the Steelers and really can't apply too much pressure onto the Talons, but they maintain possession. They've slowed down play here, have kept possession. That's the most important thing. They're going to try and apply pressure around the fringes. Again, a pick and go, protecting the ball very nicely. Good leg drive. Also great defensive work by the Talons. And trying to spin out of that tackle. And that's a penalty. Steelers holding on to the ball. And the Talons boot it, hoof it downfield. But the young man who is the flyer goes past two tackles, finally goes to ground. It was good to see them pick it up quite quickly. But Talons found again to be impeding that play and have been penalized as well. A kick into touch, and I think I did mention that earlier on, that this should be the ploy pretty much throughout, and that is to make sure that you use the set pieces, make use of your penalties, and who knows, ultimately you might just find yourself in a position where you can just execute that and find yourself in a good space. Good line out and well taken. Now going for the driving maul. One of the hardest things to defend in rugby is a driving maul, especially when it's executed quite well. Ask everyone that has played against the Springboks. They suffer when a driving maul comes. That could be offside. Very careful. Has to be very careful. Good drive by the Steelers. Gaining meters. Good meters gained there. Some spaces opening up. But Talons in desperate defense have held up the man, and maul has been formed. And that's it. That's a turnover. Turnover, and they are held. So big questions asked there, and Steelers just trying to make sure that they have the same understanding with the referee. It looks like a penalty, and that is for chirping. And they have to watch out in terms of their discipline. I believe this young man is called Victor from the Talons. Has got a beautiful boot on him, and he boots it straight over the halfway line. And now it is raining cats and dogs. Raining cats and dogs are here to Old Hararians. The clouds are just seemingly not letting up. But rugby will be played. That's the beauty of the sport. If it was cricket, we would be throwing the covers on and everybody going for some tea. But not with rugby. We continue to play. Lovely pass. Oh, wow. Great tackle there to shut them down. Decides to take a bit of space, but they are still under pressure. Straight into the hands. He decides to chip and chase. A lovely bounce for him. But now the Talons are looking to attack from their own 22. Looking for the pass outside. It was going low. He decided to put boot to ball. A smart tactic. And unfortunately, as the Steelers were trying to secure the ball, they find themselves in touch. So Talons have got an attacking line out in the half of the Steelers. And I think more importantly, an opportunity to try and put some points on the board. The scoreline still remains 0-0 at the moment. Going for the line out, and the Steelers steal it. Well, the Steelers over the last couple of weeks have been doing a good job of stealing results, pun intended. And they've stolen some really big results. Oh, if that pass comes off, but oh my word. Butterfingers. Looks like too much cooking oil in those hands. And loses on possession. It's a knock-on, and the Steelers gain possession in the territory of the Talons. Some really good play from the Steelers so far. But one of the things I would love to see maybe the Talons do a little bit more is trying to get some of their forward pack running. I know that their tight head really played an enormous role last season for Wise Owl. And if he can bring some of that form from schoolboy rugby, who knows what he might just provide for the Talons this afternoon. Steelers with the feed on the blind side. Eighth man break. But on to the ground he goes. Quick ball, and the Talons are way offside. But lucky enough, well, it looks like the penalty advantage finally given. Again, another pickup. And the penalty advantage still remains from the referee. And holding them up. But ball finally released. That was a good running line, but just couldn't find the gap easily. And another penalty. Wiseau offside. Well, the penalty advantage was still in existence. But here we go. A penalty in very good territory, just outside the 22, pretty much in front of the posts. In my view, kicking tee onto the park and send it through the post. But hey, maybe the boys want the 5 rather than the 3. Looks like they are going to go for the 5 and they will kick for touch. All right, so a line out for the Steelers. Very good territory. Think just round about 5 meters, 5 meter mark, there and thereabouts. But well in the 22. Let's see if they can get this one right. Goes way over the top and the Talons are able to pick up on the ball. They decide to run it from their own try box, but because it was a forward pass, according to the referee, we find it's going to be a scrum and it's going to be in favor of the Steelers. So despite the good turnaround that the Talons had and trying to play it from their own try box, they then suffered from their own mistake. Now here's a really beautiful attacking opportunity. I'm sure an 8th man break is well on the cards right here. But a big shove from the Talons. They do very well and they gain the penalty. So I hate to say it, but I was right. Possession lost and the Talons surely should clear their lines from here as they will look for their own personal line out. Big hoof upfield and good line out. So Victor, in my opinion, is one of the well-built centers, moves around the park very well. He's got a beautiful boot on him. Got decent pace as well when he gets running. Maybe might not have too much of an X factor, but I do feel that he would definitely be a lovely little addition to those that are thinking about the national team setup. Line out. Well, it goes all the way to the back. The referee says we can play on here. Deciding to go on the far side. There we go. I told you, once he gets on his wheels, he can be a very tough man to stop. But maybe a poor decision to keep on going onto the blind side, and that looks like it has given the line out back to the Steelers, who can now rework a strategy and see how they go about business from here. There is going to be a very interesting game coming up after this. Two sides that are desperately looking for a win after their losses last week. An eternal rivalry. All Georgians versus Harare Sports Club. That looks like it was a high tackle there. Penalty. And immediately the young man goes into contact once again. If I am correct, that should be Munangi Kamwendo. He scored that final nail in the coffin try against all Georgians last week. And what a try that was, and sent the Steelers into jubilant celebrations. The question is, can they be jubilant now? They are executing a pick and go. This time round, looking to go around the fringes. Looking like a seatbelt tackle there. Referee blows. That is a high tackle. And the referee there might have even given a yellow card. He's actually calling one of the players here, or the captain, and saying, boys, I will not have that. Behave or find yourself in the sin bin. And believe me, in these kinds of conditions, the sin bin is not a place you want to be sitting in. Ball comes out. Steelers on the charge, literally a meter away from the try line, and they do. Breakthrough. And the Steelers have scored the try, and they've opened the scoring here. Steelers now leading 5-0 with a conversion yet to come. It was pressure upon pressure, pick and go, and ultimately try time. And the Steelers continue where they left off from last week. 5-0 against Marondera Talons. Looking for the conversion. Doesn't look like we've got a kicking tee that's coming. Going to... And the drop kick doesn't look too good. In actual fact, it doesn't provide any fruit. So 5-0 it is. And they'll settle for the 5 points. It was a long time coming, but the try did finally come. Coming back to the halfway line, need not to be too worried. The Talons, lots of time in the game. It is only the first half. You are watching Sports Extra. Do like, comment, subscribe, share the content that is on the YouTube channel. You can catch up with some of the other games that have been played so far in the season. Oh, well, not too good. A knock on immediately from the kickoff. And that means the Talons have got another chance in the half of the Steelers. Just right by the 22. I'd love to see what will happen from here. It's going to be a scrum. The Talons have shown to be quite powerful in the scrum. And Lovemore Kuzorera will expect his pack to do what is necessary. As the rain continues to beat down on this old Hararians ground. Lovely little pass. Decides to cut back inside. Finally taken down. Ball is still available. Decides to go for a pick and go. Saw a gap. Looking to attack around the fringes, and they are making some really good progress. Oh, great leg drive to make that territory. Still available, going round the fringes. They're doing really well. The Talons, they're getting closer and closer. Now entering the 5 meter, but the Steelers are doing everything in their power to defend. There's now a huge overlap I can see on the far side. Ball is out. Sides to go in. He's making good meters, but needs to watch out for being held up. Finally goes to ground. Ball comes out. Here comes the big carrier. He is like a 10-ton truck going in. Penalty comes. Well, the young man almost knocked it on. No, referee says take that again, take it proper. Oh, they can feel it. Well, they knock it back. They've lost ground, but there's lots of acreage on the far side if we can get it out there. They have to come back on the inside again. And the Talons are still with the chance. but making a meal of it so far. Oh, good leg drive. Again, ball is out. Oh, lovely pass, but maybe not helpful. They didn't find the gain line. Oh, great work. Referee feels that there was a high tackle in there. Playing rugby in such weather can be so difficult, so hard. And immediately we've got the medical team coming on. So far, I'm sure Ricky and his technical team will be proud of what the boys have been able to achieve so far. Whilst Lovemo Kuzorera and Stefan Hunduza will be a little bit livid with the boys. They haven't really made use of the opportunities, of the chances. There's going to be time for a small team talk. Doesn't look like we're going to have too much time for that. But it is a penalty for the high tackle, in my humble opinion, which I know will not be welcomed by many technical teams. It would be to maybe try and go for the penalty goal, reduce the margin by about 2, and maybe find yourself in a better position to execute something else. But they're going to go for the scrum, the Talons. Talons are continuing to apply the pressure, but they've knocked it on. And sometimes that is exactly what comes with making that decision. Tried to go for the scrum. The scrum didn't work, and they lost possession. So the Talons will rue this chance, this opportunity. But lining up and getting back into position. Big scrum from the Talons. And oh wow. Was there a knock-on at the base of the scrum? Looks like there was turnover of possession and Talons are back in it again. But can they make use of it? I think we're almost tired of asking this question. Can they make use of it? They need to make use of it. Need to show exactly why they have been practicing week in, week out, getting to know each other, playing so many other rounds of games. They've played 5 rounds of games so far. So surely by now need to know their processes. Oh, what a shove by the Steelers, but ball does come out for Talons. Tries to go it alone. Does Victor loses possession, and the Steelers through Munangi offloads it, but it didn't quite reach his man. Has been knocked backwards, so they can still continue to play, and the Steelers can count themselves lucky. They've stolen 1 life so far, especially from that passage of play. And that's a penalty in favor of the Steelers. And the Talons walk away gingerly, disappointed, almost distraught that they didn't use that particular opportunity. So still some work to do. The Steelers are not totally away from it. I know that they may want more points, deciding to go tactically for territory here. They do gain some meters. That's what's important. Meters that would not have been easily gained. So as we get ready for the line out. Taken by the Talons. So lineouts are proving to be pretty difficult to hold on to. Oh, the big man has been stopped. A great leg drive as well from the Talons. Good work. Oh, that's a lovely little grubber. And he can go for the football kick. Can the Talons equalize? Oh, just a little bit too much on the second one. I thought the first one was good enough and that the next one he was just supposed to dive onto the ball. But unfortunately, overcooked that football kick. But what a brilliant idea from Victor there to just dab it through for his winger. And so the first knock-on coming from the Steelers, which will mean the Talons will still have possession of the ball. Talons are doing some really big scrums, but it's out. Looking for an 8 and 9. Decides to go into contact. Might be a good idea to try and dab it through. Oh, what a big tackle that was. And with that knock-on, it means the Steelers maintain the knock-on advantage. And they will hoof it upfield, which is not a bad idea at all. And Talons want to restart, and ref says, no, not happening. It's going to be a line out in favor of... Looks like a line out in favor of the Talons. Might have been a bit of a deflection out of the hand. Or rather, it was the kick. There wasn't any deflection there. They decide to go for a 5-meter line out, and it looks like it wasn't in straight. So I think the execution of that peculiar set piece tends to be quite difficult, to be honest. Very hard to deal with. So it's still proving to be a very, very tight game at the moment. Steelers 5, Talons 0. The Talons have had numerous opportunities to have scored, even taken the lead, but still struggling. Oh, good shove. Oh, sit down. My goodness me. Welcome to rugby. Lovely pass. Oh, finds the gap. Can he offload? Oh, misses out by a whisker there. Was almost gone. Now the Talons have been bound. Oh, wow. Very good to have wrestled out of that one. Oh, talk about a circus there. Jumping jack of the ball all over. Going to be a scrum in favor of the Talons. They are still in their own territory. I think so far it has been really good management by the Steelers, ensuring by all means that they play rugby in the right areas. And rugby in the right areas is in the opposition half. Force them to play from their own 22. Well, it's actually a scrum to the Steelers. Eighth man pick and go. Ball still belongs to them. Still trying to drive over the try line. Trying to force the issue here. And they have. They have. The Steelers are full of steel this afternoon. Nothing to wilt them or push them away. And they've extended their lead to 10 points to 0. Oh, the Steelers are looking good. And the Talons look like they don't have any claws to claw back in the game at the moment. Looks like they can't find grip at the moment as the match is slowly slipping away. 10 points to 0. Still an opportunity to fight back, but they have to do much better, do the Talons. Oh, the ball is swinging in, and it does swing in. That's a beautiful, beautiful kick, and that brings us to the halftime break. And the Steelers go into the halftime break leading 10 points to 0 against the Marondera Talons. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. A very tight game we're witnessing here between the Zambezi Steelers and the Marondera Talons. Zambezi Steelers leading 5 points to 0. Rather 12. I got a stern look from the technical bench there. Sorry, guys. But anyway, it's 12 points to 0. Just forgot that they scored a try very close to the halftime break. So the Steelers are leading 12 points to 0 against the Marondera Talons. And the Steelers are, at the moment, looking primed to go for another win. Unless if the Talons can find a way to turn it around and make it as tight as they did last week against the Northern Chiefs. Oh, well, they've been held up, but finally goes down to ground. Talons again looking for an inside lane to run into. In the pocket, Victor is there, waiting for a big kick. Hoofs it downfield. I don't think that was the smartest idea, but Steelers are going to have a counter-attacking opportunity. But good defensive work as well by the Talons to apply the pressure. It's going to come back. And looks like that one has gone straight into touch. And they decide against continuing as that ball went straight into touch. And as we know the rules, you need to get it to bounce, particularly if you're aiming for a 50-22. So here comes the line out again. The execution very tricky. Well, what is that? Have the Steelers been found wanting? So now the line out, the Talons getting ready to shoot that ball in. Stolen by the Steelers. But bundled into touch. So up we go. Again, the Talons are doing well enough. Get the ball to their scrum. Half passes it out. Maybe looking for an offload. Can't quite find it. And the tackler, unfortunately, not able to roll away there. Was stuck in action. He's gone straight through. Tried to get the grubber going. But has to now tackle the Steelers player. Ball has gone loose. And the referee will give the scrum to the Talons. Now, once again, the Talons are in very good territory. Right on the 22. You're expecting a attacking scrum, a scrum that is going to go well, do good. Big shove by the Steelers. Ball comes out. Eighth man break doesn't quite work out there. Another knock on. So Talons looking to rip the ball away. And they have. Ball does come out. Needed to have released the ball there. There was a really good chance. Looks like a long arm penalty that has been awarded by the ref. Sticking out his arm. Talons still have the ball going round the blind side. Oh, good hit, good meters by the Talons. Oh, wow, he found the gap, but almost went through. But Steelers put a check on that run. And that's the referee comes back to the penalty advantage he gave originally. And it looks like the kicking tee has been sent on the field of play. Finally, some reason has entered the camp. And they are going to be going for posts. The young man, Victor, has got a beautiful boot on him. And one thing I can tell you is that he is going to be playing for Wise Owl this year. He's got lots of talent, this young man. He is going to be upper six this year, which means this will be his final year. He will want to give his final year a good old go. Goes for the kick. And he's nailed it. And that means the Talons have now reduced the deficit to just 9 points. It might look like a scratch on the surface, but it does a world of good for the confidence. And that now means it's 12 points to 3 still for the Steelers in favor of them. Now, if the Steelers win this game, and the Old Georgians do not win their game, it means the Steelers have find themselves priming for a semi-final spot. Right now, Old Hararians and Pit Bulls are the ones that are pretty primed for a semi-final place, but it's all to play for here for the Steelers, for Harare Sports Club, for Old Georgians. I mean, there's all to fight for position number 3 and 4. I think number 1 and 2 is pretty much settled. And I think we will find out this afternoon who most likely will go all the way and lead the log standings in the final match of the day, which will be between Old Hararians and Pit Bulls. Promises to be a really physical battle. Both sides have got massive packs and have got very inventive backline players. But for now, it's the Steelers knocking away possession. And slowly but surely, the crowd building up quite nicely here at Old Hararians. Some serious impact players that are on the bench for the Steelers. Eighth man pick and go. Decides to go for a big hit against Mnangi Kamwendo. Well, the referee did not feel that the contestation was there for the Steelers. Big hit from the tight head from the Talons. Ball comes out to Victor. Goes for a big hoof upfield. Well taken. Decides to go for that one. That was a late tackle. And the referee has got a decision to make here. Now there usually is an option as to whether they'll take the penalty there or go for the ball up front there. So it looks like they are going to kick for touch. It looks like Mnangi Kamwendo was going to go for it. Round 6 of the Paramount Archer Harare Under 20 Rugby League. These boys are playing their 6th match of the season. And a lot of these youngsters are going to be in consideration for the Zimbabwe Under 20 Junior Sables, who are going to be heading into battle in the Under 20 Bartes Trophy. A lot of them putting up their hand right now and looking to make an impact. Oh, nice quick tap and go. Referee says no. Let's do that again. And Mnangi looks like he's going to find touch. Good kick for touch. Just inside the 22. Another set piece opportunity. And at the moment, well, it is a little bit dry. Not so sure if these boys are using towels to dry up the ball. But it has been a day full of wet weather. Great take. Going in for the driving maul. Oh, going in for the driving maul. Making some good meters. The referee says that there was obstruction there. But a knock-on doesn't save. There's a knock-on advantage. And the Talons deciding to kick the ball forward. Medical team might need to rush on as the young man is holding his face. And quickly going onto the park. Hopefully the young man is going to be fine. So we're going to have a bit of break in play as the young man is being attended to. Looks like he'll need to go off, try to get a bit of a head injury assessment. He says, no, I'm fine. I can do this. Well, it's a yellow card for the Steelers. They're down to 14 men. Now, this is the chance. This is the chance. If you're a team, you've got 15, your other side has got 14 men, you have got to use that opportunity. Goes for a big kick. Big kick, but doesn't find too much distance. But does find a distance nonetheless. Well, very sticky situation that the eighth man finds himself in. Here comes the line out, but that has been stolen by the Steelers. Finally comes to ground. Steelers have got lots of men on the outside, and the substitute has come on. Mazita Sitole, who can stop that young man? Well, he's been taken down finally, but after close to 20 meters that he's gained. And the Steelers are still on the attack. Talons have got too many players that are still on the offside, but the Steelers continue with the play. Continuity is the key of the game at the moment. Lovely little pop pass on the outside. He's tackled and he's knocked on. But the referee says, Talons, you were way, way offside. And it's going to be a penalty. And an immediate impact by the young man, Mazita Sitole. That young man, he is one to watch for the future. All that we can ask for is that Zimbabwe looks after this talent. Steelers still onto it, deciding to go into contact, making good meters. Again, Steelers on the charge, have a wonderful opportunity, looping run. Mazita Sitole, non-communication between the two, and unfortunately tossing the ball out of play. But it does happen. It's a part of life. And he will learn. Line out will be to the Talons. They are still trailing 12 points to 3. Watching Sports Extra. Make sure that you like, you share, you comment, subscribe on all of our social media platforms. Whether it's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, we are there giving you sporting action. We are the real sports platform here in Zimbabwe. And it's the Steelers in possession, going in for the big hit. He finds it. Oh, there's a huge overlap. If they can get it through the hands, surely this is strike time. And it's the Steelers. They've sunk their steel claws into the hearts of the Talons. And it's now 17-3 as time continues to flow. But that was a beautiful, beautiful try. Once the space was there, it was all about the hands. And once it ran through the hands, it was the Talons that were found wanting. So 17-3 with the conversion yet to come. Primes himself for this conversion. He did nail a beautiful kick earlier on. It looks like it's coming round. Unfortunately, it didn't come round early enough. But 17-3, they'll still be happy. And for the Talons, they need to dig deep. Remember last week, they drew against the Northern Chiefs, so 24-24. It took some really good rearguard action in the second half to get them there. But at the moment, they are trailing by 14 points. 2 converted tries to level matters here. And they now need to make use of those chances. I think the Talons have wasted so many opportunities. And unfortunately, they knock it on. So the advantage still remains with the Steelers. Steelers are still trying to hold possession, but the first infringement is what they'll take on board, and that is the knock-on. So another line out, or rather a scrum for the Steelers. Steelers will want a big push. I'm sure you can see in the background another team warming up there. That's all Georgians. They're getting ready for their match against Harare Sports Club. A substitution takes place here for the Talons. Number 20 coming in for the hooker. He's wearing jersey number 2. Yellow card is still in effect for the Steelers, I must add, and they still scored a try. That should be very concerning for Marondera Talons. 14 men scored a try against 15 men. Where were they? Another big scrum from the Talons. But it looks like a knock-on at the base of the scrum, and that's exactly what the referee signals there. It has been a little bit concerning with the amount of size that the Talons do have, why they haven't made use of that pack as well. And that is a penalty in favor of the Steelers. And there we go, going down on one knee in the scrum. You can't do that. Quick tap and go. Penalty advantage still remains for the Steelers. And that is cynical play signaled by the referee, and the Talons are going to get a fair share as well. They're going to get their own yellow card and join the young man who's wearing jersey number 4 in the sin bin. I think it is a number 4 day in the sin bin today. 2 back rowers. Both of them wearing jersey number 4. Oh, well. It happens. Sin bin 4, we will call it. Just in case you were wondering, 17-3 is the scoreline. Three tries, only one conversion by the Steelers. Referee not happy with the commencement of that line-out. We'll call it to be done again. Slippery ball. Knock-on advantage goes to the Steelers, who decide to go into a bit of contact as well, build up some phases. Phase number 2. Oh, that was a smart pass over the top. Well, the Steelers do have another opportunity here. I would, with a really good boot from this young man, go for posts. It's right in front of them. But he'll decide to go for touch. He will not find touch. Oh, great charge down. But I think that's going to go over the dead ball line. So, the Talons will have an in-goal dropout. In-goal dropouts can be very, very tricky, especially if you kick to the wrong man. And right now, the wrong man, in my view, is Mashita Stole. I don't want to see him anywhere near my try line. The young man is an ox. He can plow through your defensive lines. Goes past the halfway line. Decides to go in for it. A little bit isolated there, but quite lucky the support did finally arrive. Slowing down the ball are the Steelers. That's a good run. Very good run by the young man. That's another ox. He's had some really good carries as well. Couldn't get the pass away, but it's a penalty. Talons were offside. Time continues to tick away for the Talons. Ball comes out. Great defensive work from the Talons. Ball comes out to Manangi. He knocked that one on. Well, it was knocked on there. Knocked on again. A referee calls for the scrum. It is going to be in the Talons' favor. But again, the Talons have had so many opportunities, have not really made good use of the resources at hand. It's been a sticky day, I might add. Knock-ons galore, but it's also been a day ridden with errors for the Talons, and I'm sure Lovemore Kuzorera will not be too happy with the performance today after leveling it up at All Georgians last week. One would have thought this was a stepping stone to try and get a victory, but it seems like the Steelers had more wind behind their backs than the Talons. Talons get it out now. Looking for a long pass on the outside. Looking to find the gap. He doesn't. The Talons looking like they're a little bit tired here. Tried to offload. That ball is loose. It's a knock-on. And once again, the Talons, poor decision-making in their own half. And they are being punished for it. Nice little crowd that has gathered here at Old Hararians. Crowd that is hungry for rugby action. There'll be more rugby action to come. Nedbank Rugby Challenge Cup will be following after this. This is the Paramount Archer Under-20 Harare League. And wow, that's a penalty. No way, son. I'm sure he was just looking to get under the skin of the Talons there. Even though they are the ones who are supposed to be getting under the skin of the Steelers. Again, another good carry. Ball comes out. Good hit, great leg drive. Territory being gained here. Oh, lovely offload. Can they get it in the corner? Unfortunately, just toppled into touch. But it's still a penalty advantage for the Steelers. Steelers are looking to seal this game off. Put the final nail in the coffin of the Talons. And don't forget the Talons are now the players that are one man down. After their yellow card came after the Steelers' yellow card. Unfortunately, it's panning out to be a very lonely place at the moment for the Talons' back rower, as he sees his team reeling under the pressure of the Steelers. A substitute that is coming. An offload in contact. Bring them to the ground. Still available for a huge overlap because the Talons are really bunched up in their defense. Now looking to fan out. Ball count. Oh, that's a beautiful running line. And the Steelers have nailed it. That's the final nail in the coffin, surely. 22 points to 3, a conversion yet to come. And the Talons ultimately buried under the rubble of their own mistakes. It is going to be a reasonably or relatively easy conversion, all dependent on execution. But it's been a good day out on the park for the Steelers. Goes for it, and with aplomb he buries it, and that's a 24-3 in favor of the Steelers. Ooh! A good tackle. Great pressure. Scrum half decides to go for a box kick. But he is going to look for territory. Smart rugby here from the Steelers. Force the Talons to play from their own half. Talons having to run. But now here are the Talons attacking, deciding to cut inside and not release the ball. Again, that comes to game maturity and territorial awareness. I would have loved to see maybe a dink over the top, but it doesn't happen. Box kick once again by the scrum half. Maybe that could have been the best one. Oh, great pass. Unfortunately losing out on it, knocking it on.
Thank you very much for braving the weather, coming to spend the afternoon with us. We appreciate you.
So as the sun comes out at an already battered Old Hararians field, 24 points to 3. The Steelers have managed to scar the Talons. Another substitution. And so they are going to get their back rower back in there. That definitely helps matters. Calls for a stop in time, does the ref. Just wants to make sure that the scrum is properly looked after, is in check. An eighth-man break, good handoff, but is being hackled down by the flanker. And that's a penalty. I don't know if they're going to go for posts. It looks like they are going to reach out for the kicking tee. I think they've decided that it's now an issue of reducing the points deficit and margin. And just get as many points on the board as you can before you get into the final round of fixtures next week. Whoever the top 4 will be by next week, those will go and play in the semi-finals, whilst the rest will play for places. Oh, looks like a beautiful kick, but unfortunately dragged it to the left a little bit too much. So a 22 dropout. It was a good 22 dropout, but not necessarily a wise idea to try and go there. And that brings us to the end of this encounter. The Steelers pick up their 4th win in a row. And my oh my, what a run that they've suddenly gone on to. And they put themselves in a very good position. Old Georgians have got no choice but to win this afternoon if they intend to be in the semi-finals. Well, it ends here. Zambezi Steelers 24, Marondera Talons 3.